On this episode of Street Wreck Garage, taking the most unreliable car I have 360 miles all the way to Tennessee to pick up the Vice Grip Garage Ram truck, load it on, and drive 306 miles back. So we are on the way to Tennessee to pick up the Vice Grip Garage Ramp truck, and we are driving Goose here. And I am at my first fuel stop because I started out at like 6 o'clock in the morning and it was completely dark, so you couldn't see anything anyway. But everything's okay. I'm just letting it cool down just a hair. It's not running hot or anything, but just checking to make sure all the oil and everything's staying in. So I should be running the air cleaner, but I'm not. Anyway, what we're doing is we're taking Goose down to pick up the ramp truck. I'm almost to Louisville from Indianapolis right now, and now we just gotta run the rest of the way down to just south of Nashville, Tennessee, grab the ramp truck, put Goose on the back, and then make a 5, 6, 7 hour trip, however long it takes to get there, all the way back. So let's go ahead, get back on the road and get headed down to Tennessee. Okay, now we're back on the road headed towards the Nashville area. So I'm keeping a pretty steady speed, about 63 to 65 miles an hour. It's running at about 2,500 RPM, so that's a pretty decent speed. If I go any faster, there's a slight vibration that I don't much like, but we should be there in about 3 hours, and then we'll have an overview of the truck. We'll do a walk around on the truck. Cue the driving music. Give or take out of Nashville. Everything's been going well so far. I'm just gonna pull off and fuel again because this has a small tank on it, and I'm getting maybe 10 miles to the gallon, I guess. But the gas gauge is also incorrect. I'm just below a half a tank, and I think it is empty at about a quarter of a tank. So we're not gonna make that mistake, even though I am carrying spare gas in the trunk. Now it's running a little bit warmer, about 185 to 190, which is probably right where it should be. So we're good there. I'm not even sure if the fan has kicked on yet. Everything's going well. It seems a little chattery, but we have solid lifters in there, so a couple hours at a time, we'll let it rest a bit, and then we'll do the final stretch on to Nashville. all gassed up. Check the oil, it was a little bit low. It is leaking from some of the seals, which is not uncommon for this car. But pretty good for what, four hours that we've put on it so far. And we put in eight gallons of gas. So 8 gallons from Louisville to almost Nashville. So my odometer doesn't work, or the speedometer, so we don't know how many miles per gallon that is, but it's 8 gallons from Nashville to Louisville apparently. Back on the road, we'll hit you up when we get to the truck and we'll do a little walk around and check that out. Finally just got off the interstate. Now we just have 5 more miles to the storage lot where Derek keeps all his extra projects stuff, and we can have a look at this truck. That was a long drive, but Goose made it, no problems. Okay, we finally made it here, and this is what you wanted to see, the good old Vice Grip Garage ramp truck. So let's go ahead and do a quick walk around. I think there's a few things we're going to have to do in order to get it ready to shoot back up to Indianapolis. So yeah, let's look around. So here she is in all her glory, pretty much exactly like you saw in my last video and Derek's video where he fixed it up. The Cat Farm crew cab rims that are on it. Now we're gonna have to change those out because we need to put the dually axle, you know, rear end underneath of that. I don't know if this axle is the same width as a dually axle. We'll measure that and see. If not, Derek gave us a dually axle rear end, so I assume there's a different length, and that's why he used the had the dually axle rear end that was sitting up here. So we're gonna keep these. We'll put those rims on a different project. But yeah, these are I don't know, probably $700–800 worth of rims and tires, brand new tires, brand new powder coated rims, all that good stuff. Let's look up underneath the old hood and see what we need to do here. Wow, she is not pretty. I'm not a fan of that air cleaner, yeah, I'm not a fan of that fuel filter, but it should do. Maybe pick up an extra fuel filter. This alternator belt is garbage. We're gonna have to replace that before we go. This power steering pump belt is loose. Maybe we can adjust on that a little bit, or I don't know if we can or not. Maybe we'll try to adjust on that. Let's see. That okay, vice grips. And the wire to the fuel pump, the ground is off, so we're gonna have to get an eyelet and rig that back up with something a little bit better than the old vice grip there. I guess that's the anti-theft device. You just unplug the ground wire off the fuel pump, and well, she'll start for a little while, but she won't get far. Let's see, why is this here? This, I think that's when he had 2 batteries up and apparently just left it sit there. So deleted. Let's see. I don't, is this power? This, what is this? This is, yeah, that's a positive wire just there. So we'll tape that up, or just, should we take it off? I don't know. Let's tape it up. We might need it later. So trim some of that down, tape it up. We might need it later. What else? What is this? Why? Where? It goes down there. It doesn't go to the starter. Oh, it has a winch on it, right? I bet this goes to the winch. That should be fine there. Ground the block, which is good. Huh? About PCV valve just sort of stuck in there. It'd be cool if it was right there where it should be, but good enough, I guess. It'd be nice if something was in there. We need to make a trip to the parts store. I wonder if we're gonna have problems with these hoses. I hope not. Wires, this goes, there's two lines, yeah, figure that out. Radiator, securely ratchet strapped. That's not even a ratchet strap, that's just a strap tied around. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a lug nut and a hose clamp, and that should be fine. Probably should check the coolant. I'll do that later. You don't have to watch that. Oh, bare wires on the alternator, tied in and goes somewhere else with some more wires. Thin air cleaner, that's going to give braiding problems. Edelbrock carburetor, which I did bring a spare Edelbrock. Kickdown cable is not hooked up. Wow. Well, I had better get to the parts store and get some parts for this guy. Air up the tires. They're looking a little soft. Okay, well, let's get to doing things. Okay, I'm back with a few things here, and I just put on the ground eyelet. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that. Oh, hope it stretches. Yeah, it'll stretch. Well, I don't think this is bolted down. Yeah, well, it'll stretch. So we'll put that there, and then we'll cut that off a little bit and hope everything else doesn't burn to the ground, I guess. I didn't get the alternator belt because I forgot to take it off when I went there, so we'll just load everything up, go up there, take the whole truck, take that off, and match it up and get another alternator belt, because we don't know what year this engine is. This is not the engine that came with the truck. So, I mean, this truck's a 77, and you can tell it's got the valve covers with the bolts on the top. So what is that, 96? Is that, or is that earlier? No, Vortec was 96, but I don't know. Somebody tell me what year did they start putting the valve covers with the bolts up there, that style block. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick, and then we'll see if we can get her fired up so we can get it loaded and hopefully back. What is that? What's this? This looks like it might be leaking a little bit. Well, that might be another issue. We should also get some coolant for the trip back. Oh well, okay, so let's get this wiring wrapped up. I got this wire cut so it's not all flary, frenzy, fuzzy, whatever you want to call it, but I forgot to get some electrical tape. But fortunately there's plenty right here, so I'm just gonna tape this guy up so we don't have any issues, at least any issues from this part of it. So there we go, problem solved. Okay, we are a bit short, like 2 quarts low on oil, so I did the right thing and bought some Rotella 1540. Just drink that in real good right there. It already had a funnel. Go figure. Okay, what do we have now? Is that right? Get in there. Come on. Boy, that is a bit tight. Huh. Still a little bit low. Guess it was 3 quarts. But then again, this dipstick is bent, so yeah. Stay. Okay, wiring done. Oil in. The bracket for the power steering pump is all sorts of out of whack. I tried to adjust it here and here, and it's still loose, but it should stay on there good enough until we get it back home. What else was I gonna do? I can't remember. The grounds are good. I don't know. Anyway, Everything else seems to be in okay shape. It's got plenty of coolant in it. Let's go ahead and try to get it fired up now. The battery is completely dead, so we're gonna have to jump start this thing. Hopefully everything goes well there, and then we can, oh, tires. I was gonna air up the tires. Get it started, then we can air up the tires, and then we can load it. Okay, jump pack hooked up, power is on. Let's see if she'll start. Not bad. We got plenty of oil pressure. Sounds okay. Looks a little bit dirty, but I would say that is good enough. So let me just pull this up a little bit. Let's get the air in these tires and pull the ramps out and get the car on and all that good silly stuff. And according to the meter, it is charging at 15.6, 15 or 14.6, 14.7 volts, so that is good. This thing is dirty. What do you think we should do on the exterior? Just clean it up? Probably just leave the paint alone? Maybe put some shine juice on it. Who wants to see the shine juice? And what about the engine? I'm gonna need you to drop me a comment below. I don't know what to do with this engine right here. Do we leave this one here? I mean, it runs, it sounds great, absolutely wonderful, but I would like to do a hot rod power tour with this. Is this engine good enough? Or should we LS swap it or big block it, or I don't know. I don't know what to do. So comment below, what should we do with this? Okay, so I was just moving the truck from over there to over here so we could load that, and I was airing up the tires with the pump, and then it started running really slow, and now the alternator belt is gone. Where did it go? It's not here. I don't see it. It's somehow disappeared in between here and right there. Is it under? Where is, oh, look, and the exhaust is hanging down too. And we have so many problems. Oh, is that, there it is. There it is. Is it broken? Are you broke? Yep, you're broke. Wouldn't have went far on that. It is all sorts of chewed up. So let me see. I carried a couple extra belts and Goose here. Hopefully they'll work, because I was gonna pull Goose up, and then all of a sudden he started shooting fluid out, because this junk regulator here likes to, you know, not do regulator stuff. So now we got a flooded carburetor. So if the belts don't fit in the trunk, we're gonna have to fix Goose, go down to the auto parts store to fix the ramp truck. Apparently I'm being roadkilled and vice gripped all at the same time. Well, looks like I got lucky. Apparently a belt from a 1972 Ford Maverick with altered billet aluminum pulleys will fit on a stock pulleyed 1977 Chevy truck with an unknown engine out of it. So yeah, one win. Well, a couple whacks of the old hammer got the regulator functioning again. Now let's see if we can pull the old Goose up here onto the ramp truck, or is that too much of an angle and we're gonna have to jack up the front of the ramp truck to make this a little more even. That's what I think. You know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, because that just looks sketchy. Okay, that's up, that's down some more. Those ramps kind of bowed a little bit, you can see that. So hopefully this car isn't low enough that it won't make it up, but we're gonna give it a try. Well, that worked nicely. Old Goose is going for a ride. No problems. Now, if you guys are interested, these two cars are still here. The Buick Riviera. What was this? A 71, I think. She's still sitting up here. What happened to this car? It didn't have any brakes when he drove it in. And the glass is now missing, so must have went to another project. But this car is actually in pretty good shape. I mean, the quarter panels are pretty solid. It has that one piece of rust right there. And what else? Got a little bit here, but the bottom of the doors are okay. So we got a rust hole there. Just some good patina right along here. This car has a 455 in it with a turbo 400. The Buick still has the Buick Riviera rims on it, and pretty much the same condition on the other side. I mean, the interior is garbage, definitely. But I mean, a seat cover, you can make that work. There's an extra grill in the back. Probably to replace that one. The tires are... Did he replace these? I can't remember, but they look to be in good shape. Back of it's fine. Yeah. What's wrong with this car? It's like $4,000. Huh. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't tell you about this and just come back and get it myself. I don't know, but I'll tell you about it. So it's still sitting down here, and it's still up for sale. The Camaro is also still here. I mean, he didn't do an episode on this. I can't remember the reason he bought it. I think just to help a buddy out. But yeah, I mean, this is be a good dirt track car, I guess. I don't know, what do you do with these? I think it's 1776, $1,776. I'm sure you get the reference there. But yeah, it is still sitting here and still for sale. So hey, drop him a line, buy both of them. Okay. And of course, everybody's favorite, the old Corvair. She's sitting up here too. I'm pretty sure it's not for sale yet, but maybe one day. Brand new tires on it, and you know it runs, it just doesn't stop or anything. But this isn't bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not hideous. You gotta love the paint scheme though. Well, keep an eye out for this. It may come up for sale as well too. This would be a really nice one to own. I'd like to have this one. Well, I think it is about time to get this car strapped down and start our long trip all the way back to Indy. Hopefully I make it before midnight. I've been here a little bit longer than I really wanted to be. A little bit more work to do, but let's hit the road. Well, looks like we have everything loaded up, strapped down, oiled, tightened up, exhaust, all that good stuff. Now, let's see if we can get this giant rig out of Derek's storage lot without running into anything. Just filled it up and headed on the highway up 65 right now. I'm doing about 60 miles an hour, give or take. I think this is a comfortable speed for me. So it's got some go, it has not a lot of blow. Not good brakes. Well, we've been in a little bit of traffic and it's starting to get a little gray and sprinkly. It's starting to rain just a hair, and the wipers kind of work, but not really. So hopefully there's supposed to be storms tonight. I'm still about 4 hours out, maybe. Yeah. We're gonna play it by ear. If it starts to get too stormy or starts to get too dark, we'll just pull into a hotel and pick it up again in the morning. But so far, everything is working pretty good. It's got plenty of oil pressure and it's running nice and cool. So cool, good oil pressure. I just don't know if it's charging because there's no charge gauge there. I'll probably stop and check out the alternator belt that I put on, make sure that's still on there. I'm sure it is. And make sure we got plenty of oil and all that other good stuff. Maybe we need some more traveling. Fuel stop again at Love's, and I found this, and it seems to go out the window. I'm just wondering if that goes to the light. There's a little USB. Hey, I can charge my phone. That's nice. If that works. Well, I guess it does work. So if we want to get noticed, we can do that, but probably best that we leave that alone. We don't want the police noticing us, but it's cool that it works. Back on the road again. Remember that vice grip that I found underneath the hood that was grounding the fuel pump? It's been repurposed. Now it's a window roller downer thingy. Well, drove through the night and got in about 11:30-ish, and it started raining and it was getting cold, and now today it's even colder. So I still need to get this up to Street Rat Garage headquarters because it's just here at my house, and I live in an HOA community, and I need to get this out of here before Karen comes around and sees it sitting here. I went ahead and checked the oil. We're just a little bit low, about a quart give or take, and that's fine. I'll add some later. I want to change the oil, but it's cold and the heat's not working, so we need to do something about that. So hopefully this heater motor still works, and I can just take this alligator clip here and clip it on, say here, and run this end into the battery, and that works now. So that's going to give us a little bit of heat today. So let's go ahead and jump back in here, and oh, that alternator belt's a little bit loose. Yeah, that'll be fine. We're going about an hour up, so everything else looks good. So let's jump into this, get it up to Street Rat headquarters, unload the Maverick, and let's see what else we have going on with this. Lots of belt squeak, but it starts right up. And we got all kinds of oil pressure. And now we have heat. Okay, we are about halfway to Street Rat Garage headquarters. I've been running about 30 minutes now, and it's still a little chilly inside. The fan's working, but apparently this truck does not have a thermostat because I'm running like 150 degrees. You can see that. That's another reason that you probably should always run a thermostat in your engine. It also helps to put enough heat that you don't freeze in the winter. So it'd be nice to be running about 180 degrees and having a little bit warmer heat in this truck, but I'm going to go ahead and pull off. I need a little bit more gas. I think I'm just going to let it sit in idle for a little while and see if that will not build the heat back up because it's cold. Well, I'm still getting some squilling on the belt, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten up that alternator while we're sitting here fueling up real quick. Anytime you put a new belt on, you're probably going to get a little squeal there when it warms up if you don't get it nice and tight. This power steering is also making a squeal sound, but only when I turn it, so we're not worried about that one. It's definitely this one, so it is loosening up on us. So let's maybe, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that or not. Well, unfortunately, it looks like we stripped out that bolt a little bit. 13 and a half won't work. No, it's just too stripped out right now. So we're just going to take it easy on it. It's still in really good shape, so it's just squilling a little bit when we get on and off the interstate. As long as we run at a steady speed, it's fine. We'll get some vice grips out, yank that out, and put in the right stuff. There's still a lot of things we need to fix. It's still discharging. There's no fan shroud or anything in here, and this clutch fan is fine, but it is really cooling this truck down. So I'm gonna sit here and let this run for a little while, warm it up, and then we'll hit the road again. I went in and grabbed a sandwich and let it run for about 10 minutes, and it did not help. It actually got colder. Now it's like 125, so I only got about 30 minutes left, so we'll just suffer through it, and then later we'll throw a thermostat in there, unless we just change the engine altogether. Either way, it'll solve the problem. Okay, well, we made it back up, safe and sound. The truck is still running pretty good. Now we got to get old Goose unloaded off the truck here. I just wanted you to look at this tire right here. I mean, it has 50 pounds of air pressure in it, but it is sagging, and Goose is not heavy at all. So definitely we are going to have to put that dual axle under there. I'll show you that. Or I don't know. I still don't know if we can put dual wheels on that without putting the dual axle. We'll measure that and find out. But let's get Goose on off of there and we'll get the stuff put away. Well, that was easy enough. Goose just slid right on off of there, no problem. The ramps are not the easiest thing to get back in here, and they're really not long enough. So we need a little bit better style of ramp. Slide up in there, give us a little more pitch, or a little less pitch actually, so we can load a little bit easier. This went up there fine, came down fine, but this sits a little high. Anything lower, you're gonna have some problems with. Well, mission completed. We drove all the way from south of Nashville all the way an hour north of Indianapolis. That's like 6 hours plus an hour. That's 7 hours. 7 hours of driving. So this truck has run. Derek took it from Georgia to Tennessee. We took it from Tennessee to north of Indianapolis, Indiana. So that's about 12 hours of total driving time. Probably about 12, I don't know, 1,300 miles, 1,400 miles. I don't know how far it is from wherever he was in Georgia all the way to here in Indiana. But I have to give props to whoever put this awful thing together. It was done in the worst possible way with good parts. The engine, the transmission, none of that's hooked up properly. None of the wiring's hooked up properly. There's nothing right with this engine and transmission and rear end. It all works, and it made it all the way here with zero issues. So all that we have to do now is start deciding what we're gonna do. I want to do something with this interior. This seat, it has been worn down. It's not awful shape, but whoever sat here was a big guy, and this seat is worn down, and it really strained my back riding in this seat. You could just feel it. It's not comfortable. Something with the seats. It's got one red, one black door card here. We need to find the window crank. I don't know if it's in here anywhere. With this wiring back here, that's a mess. What's this here? What do we have? Uh-oh, what is this? Haha, look at that. Well, I'll be dipped. Somebody left their flannel behind. That's nice. Might have to try that on. Let's give that a try real quick. There we go. Nice. Oh, smells like wet Sasquatch hair and gear lube. Perfect. Anyhow, back to what we're going to do with the truck. Something with the interior. We're going to change the rear end. We got this rear end right here. It came with the truck. I brought it home in the last episode where we failed to bring it on the trailer. So I looked underneath the truck, and this rear end is definitely shorter. There's like probably 6 to 8 inches more in between the spring and the backing plate underneath that truck than this rear end, and the spring packs are a lot larger. It has this extra 1, 2, 3 set of overload springs, I guess that's what they are, and that's definitely going to come in handy. So we'll swap this rear end. We got the rims, we can clean those up, put some fresh tires on it, slip it underneath the truck, and then engine and transmission. Even though this runs excellent, no problems with this engine, the transmission, you know, you got to manually shift it. I don't know what the deal is there, but it just doesn't have the horsepower to pull up and down those mountains. So 2 options. So do we just go ahead and LS swap it like everybody else? I have a 6.0 that has a cam already set up to go. I could just drop it right in there, boom, be done with it. Or do we big block it? I already have a big block sitting around. The thing is, with a big block, they don't make a lot of power stock for them. You have to do some stuff. It's heavier. You're gonna get 8 miles to the gallon. This already gets 8 miles to the gallon. It gets 8 miles to the gallon with loaded with a car. What's it gonna get? 6 miles to the gallon with a big block with a car loaded on? LS engine, the 6.0. Probably with the cam in it, probably just as much power, probably more. It's got to be more. It's got to be around 400 horsepower. I just don't know the torque. Big block, probably going to have more torque. LS engine, more overall horsepower, We could always add a turbo to it later, more parts, I don't know. Comment below, what should we do? LS swap it, big block swap it, Cummins swap it? That would be expensive. Let's not do that. LS swap, big block swap. So that's what we're gonna do. Comment below, what do you think? And I guess lastly, what about the body? What about the paint? This is house paint. This is a roller. Actually, I think it's a brush. It has lines. It has to be a brush. So this was brushed on. It looks terrible. I don't know how well you can see really up close, but I don't even think Shine Juice is going to bring this back around. It is rough and it's flaking everywhere. So, but do we just leave it like this? I mean, maybe we could run a buffer over it. I don't know if house paint shines. No idea. But what do we do here? The doors have a bunch of holes in it from where the mirrors were. Do we fix that? Do we leave it alone? Just leave the whole truck looking like it is? Or do we just put some new panels on here, clean this up, and make it look way better? I do want lights. I would like a light bar on there, something that flashes for safety, strobe lights, so I'm gonna do that. But what about the body? We're definitely gonna put fan shrouds and all that other good stuff in here, thermostat. Look at that right there. That's just wrong. Oh, one more thing. VGG hood savers right there. They're not out yet, but I had to spend a lot of money, but I got a pair. That's pretty cool too. Anyway, that is going to do it for this long trip. If you want to see more on this truck, because we are going to do more on this truck, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button so it notifies you when another video comes out on this truck or anything else we do. Spoiler alert, I did make a deal with Derek on another vehicle. So if you want to see what that vehicle is, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button so you know when that comes around. We'll be back with more Vice Grip Garage vehicles. That'll wrap it up for this episode of Street Rat Garage. Until next time.